So what are the biggest concerns that you have about affordable housing in South Etobicoke?
My concern is that there is no action being taken. It is more about getting together, discussions, and all these town hall meetings, but everything has to be put into perspective and start moving. As I said again, I repeat the word action rather than words. The politicians need to put a cap, and they need to act now, a cap on the rent, because this keeps escalating. It's not only going to, mentally people are going to get more mental because they can't afford it. Their jobs are at stake because now they're working from home. There's a lot of issues that will develop. Me being a senior, I think there's a limited income that we have. How are we going to maintain ourselves? You know, this is when we have to go to doctors, and that means the medical system is also going to be affected, which means, again, more expenses for the government, for us, and everybody else. It's a vicious circle. So let's act now.
So what are some of the challenges or concerns you have around affordable housing in South Etobicoke?
Well, lack of supply of housing is one issue, but at the same time, getting a unit at a price that I can pay. You know, I'm not working anymore. My work closed down. You know, so you know there's no way to make more money. You know, so I'm stuck with what I have. You know what I have. So that's the problem.
We all know the cost of living is going up, and it's getting more difficult for people to be able to pay the rent. Most of the money goes on their rent, which means they don't have enough money for food and clothing. So what do they have to do? Go to food banks.
What help do you need to address some of the challenges you are facing around affordable housing?
Well, I would think I would need at least to get some kind of subsidized rent, you know, where the government is paying, you know, part of it, and I'm paying the rest. You know, that's a problem, because if I ever had to leave where I'm living at the moment, which is a bit precarious, I don't know what I do, you know, because you know, there's no supply of other rental units at that. The only reason I have it is because I've been living there over 10 years. Because once the landlord can, he would probably try to get rid of us.
So is there any increase of rent since you have been in that apartment?
Yeah, well, when I originally was there, I was paying $600. Now I'm paying $900. Now he wanted to sell the building, so he said you have to put the rent up. I have to put the rent up to make it appetizing for the new guy to come and buy it. So we put the rent up. We kind of agreed to $900.
What are some of the challenges or concerns you have around affordable housing in South Etobicoke?
There's not enough of it, and a lot of what's there is not in very good shape.
So what do you think the government needs to do right now?
Well, one of the things they need to do is change their language, because through the elections we heard everybody was for affordable housing. They're talking about being able to get a mortgage and live in a home you own, and that's not available to a lot of people in this community. So they've got to change that definition of what affordable housing is, so that people who have to live in a rented unit can afford to pay that.
Do you have a solution to address the issues of affordable housing?
Well, there are some issues, but it's like there's a big demand for affordable units, and if there's, if they're at $2,000 each, who can afford it? And what's the use in having all those units that nobody can afford?
So what do you think needs to be done?
What needs to be done is And when I look around and I see lots of spaces that are empty, maybe they can convert those into housing, build simple homes, but even if it means a one bedroom, depending on the needs of people, they should be doing that. They should be really focusing on, as I said again, I repeat the word action rather than words.
That extremely affordable. Instead of just some of them builders were giving like 20% off of what the market rate was. So now it's not really when people come to try and buy that to pay that rent, they can't pay it any more than they could pay full market price. Because the difference between the two is not enough. To make it affordable. So I think they called it extremely affordable when they developed the rental.
So what message do you have for the government over the issue of affordable housing?
The average renter needs help from the government to afford even an average apartment. It means that we would need a discount in the amount that we pay, or we need a subsidy in the amount we pay. So that the government could pay 30-40% and we could pay the balance. They call it a rent subsidy, whatever, they call it different things, and that's why people need that help. You see the people walking around on the street who are homeless. They can't afford it unless
People need the system or the government or the MPs or the councils, whoever is involved, to basically look very, very deeply into the situation. That this is a humanitarian cause, really. The cost of housing has gone so expensive, and it's so unaffordable for people with low income and mid income to pay their rents. Most of the money is going, almost 80%, I would say, or 90% is going into rent.
I think we just have to keep after the people who make the policies at whatever level. We just have to keep in their face, and hopefully it'll finally twig.